So here's a bit of an update on the scooter, tricycle, whatever you might want to call it, golf buggy. We had a bit of a result here really, because my brother's got a motorbike type one, and this was the original sprocket and chain he had on. Well, a bit more chain anyway. This was the original sprocket he had on it and the chain, and it was a bit quick when they do a conversion kit for it with a smaller or bigger sprocket. I'm not quite sure which way around it was. And when you buy that you get a new chain with it, so he had this spare, so I got that off him. Now I went online and ordered a new sprocket, but I happened to have one laying about that fitted it, because this is an 05B chain and fits it all perfect. I've done away with my little torque converter for the time being, and I'll see how it gets on with that. I've got no idea how fast it's going to go or how much torque it's going to have, but I'm pretty sure this motor's got enough torque to do what I want anyway. But I'll just show you it running. I'll switch it on, go round to the throttle. Might help if I... So, all I've got to do now is put it all back together. Just gear comparison. That's the old chain, that's the new chain. And this chain works on his motorbike one, so that definitely won't snap. Right, get the thing reassembled. Well, with the motor driving that direct, it's just got not enough torque, which is why I made this little torque converter in the first place. But because this is the new one that's arrived, the new 05B sprocket, that's one of the other little sprockets. That's the sprocket I had laying about. So I'm just doing it for now with the thin chain from the motor to the drive, and I have to get a bigger sprocket to replace this one, which fits the little chain, but I just want to stick these on to try them. But to do that I had to that was the centre bar for me torque converter, so I had to make another centre bar for it. Got a different thread here, it's a 10mm thread on that one, that was an 8. So, but it is good having a lathe and you can just make this stuff, because that's impossible. And if you got it made up in a machine shop, that would cost you a fair bit of money, I reckon. So anyway, I'm going to assemble all this. I might make a new plate for the motor and the this torque converter, and stick it on the buggy and see how that gets on. Right, so there it is with the torque converter back on it. I've got the big chain on here, I've still got one of the little chains on there. I'm still waiting on some sprockets, but let's give it a go. Well, no problem turning left. Won't turn right though. So it just will not turn right. I mean, it will, very slight angles, but it just wants to push forward all the time. So there's nothing else for it. It's going to have a differential. So this has just turned up. I bought it off of eBay. It's a diff off of an old Mini. They call it a classic Mini now, I just call it a Mini. It's 25 quid. So what I've got to do is quite an heavy old lump, but it's not so bad. So now what I've got to do is figure out, I'm going to have to cut the axle in half, either get a bearing to fit this, or just make a reasonably tight hole for it to fit in, get it on there in line with that one. I don't need to oil this. I mean, this would be sitting in the gearbox in an oil bed, but I don't think I need that, not for the speeds we're going to be doing. And then not this one, but the bigger sprocket I've got to bolt onto here as well somehow, because obviously this drives the wheels. When they're both in there, it would force them round. So, one of the bolts is missing out of here, but that's not a problem because I don't need them all. That's it then. Next project is going to be to make up this diff with the half shafts, figure out somewhere connecting them up, get down there and then give the buggy another go. That buggy has become a lot more of a problem than I thought, or a lot more of a bigger project than I thought it was ever going to be. But whole new stack of work to do this. Onward and upward. See you in the next one.